Hi guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a video where I give you guys advice for freshmen going into college, or for anyone that needs advice that is currently in college, in high school, whatever it may be. I hope this video helps you out, but it is going to be directed towards college students just because I am a college student and I want to give advice based on that. For those of you who don't know, I am a senior at Seton University, and I wanted to give my advice on what happened freshman year. And before I even start the video, I want to say that this is based off of my personal experience. This is not based off of every college student's experience. This is just currently what I went through, and I think that it will help a lot of people out, so I thought it would be good to share it with you guys. With all that being said, be sure to enter my giveaway if you have not already. I'll have it linked down below. Check out my other back to school content that I've been doing for about like 2 weeks now. I'm having so much fun filming it, and leave me a comment down below because I do try to respond to every single comment. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing we are going to talk about is dorming. So for dorming, there are a lot of questions. There are things such as, how do I find a roommate? How do I know who my roommate should be? How do I know I'm going to click and get along with my roommate? How do I know my organization is going to match with what my roommate needs? Now, I did not dorm my freshman year. However, my friends did tell me a lot of stories about everything, and I do have a lot of tips, so that's what I'm going to get into first for how you should find a roommate. Now, for me, I'm dorming this year on campus, and it was a little easier because I met my best friend before. However, if you're someone going right into this and you don't know who your roommate is and you know no one going to the school, my best advice is to talk to the person first. Compare your interests, see if you get along, see how things go for at least like a month if you have the time, because you're not going to really know how you guys could work through problems or stuff like that if you don't have a little more time to actually see who the person is. So my best advice is to definitely feel it out, see how everything goes for a little, talk to more than one person, see who you click with the most, and then when you finally actually click with someone, then use that and say like, hey, you want to be roommates and everything like that. My best advice is to make sure that your organization skills match so that you guys aren't like clashing over simple things like one person leaving a dish out and another person like putting it away. Make sure that you guys have a time schedule where you won't get annoyed at someone for staying up late or someone for making too much noise, stuff like that, and just make sure that you guys click and that your personalities won't clash. That's my best advice, basically talking to as many people as you could and seeing who you would actually click with. That is what I would tell you guys to do because that's what I personally would do. Now I'm going to go into making friends. So as someone who was a commuter my college year of high school, making friends for me was very, very hard. I really didn't know what to do because I was always kind of like in a quiet circle. I never had many friends in college because I would not speak to people because I didn't want to kind of like go into a group that already was a group. Basically, since I didn't dorm, I found it really hard to just talk to people. And that may have been because I was nervous about talking to people for the first time and everything like that, but my best advice is to talk to everyone. Literally just be bubbly if possible. I know it's hard sometimes, but your personality is what's going to make you friends, and you will find your circle as long as you talk to people. My other main tip is to join a sorority, especially if you are a commuter on campus. This was literally what made me a lot of my friends on campus. I did join a sorority. I didn't join one my freshman year. I joined it, I think, either the end of sophomore year or the beginning of junior year. I don't remember, but something like that. And honestly, I made so many friends, and I did make my friend group eventually through classes. However, the sorority really did help. So if you're someone who is commuting and can't really find a friend group, don't worry. I promise you will find your circle, and consider joining a sorority because it really will help you get to know people. That's the #1 reason why I joined, and I know so many people now just because of joining the sorority. Now we are going to talk about scheduling. So as a freshman, you are going to be able to make your own schedule, at least at some schools. Some schools, they do give you your schedule as a freshman, and then you can make them your sophomore through senior year. However, at my school, I was able to create my schedule. Now, this was tricky because I was so used to being in high school where it was just given to me, where I didn't really know what I should do. Now, my biggest mistake was putting every single one of my classes back to back. I thought that getting the classes over with was something that I could handle and that I wouldn't get stressed out about. But let me just say, I got so stressed out about having back-to-back classes. I didn't have a break all day, and it was probably the worst decision I made in a college perspective. Personally, this is a preference, but I just really think it's important to give yourself that balance, have time to spend time with your friends, and if you have to take a Friday class in order to do that, just take a Friday class. I promise it won't be that bad. Okay, my camera battery did not last as long as I thought it was going to, but basically what I was saying was, as long as you are having fun and as long as you can find time to balance out your life, as in with school, as in with grades, as in with studying, with food, with working out if you do so, and with hanging out with your friends and everything like that, I say that taking a Friday class is not as bad as putting yourself through that much stress doing back-to-back classes. In high school, all I wanted to do was get school over with, and then in college, I finally was given the opportunity to just kind of create my own schedule and do everything how I wanted to do it, as long as the classes were at the right times. And I did everything in my power to get the classes back to back, but looking back at it, it was so hard and so stressful, so I would not recommend doing that at all. The next thing I want to say is about grades. So college is a lot harder than high school, at least in my opinion. I thought it was going to be kind of similar to high school because high school is still hard, don't get me wrong. It's just so much harder and I wasn't expecting it to be. I'm an accounting major, for those of you who don't know, and accounting is just something that's really hard for me. So going into a major that I wanted to excel in, that I just knew I wasn't good at the time, was very, very difficult, but I didn't let that stop me. The point of this is to focus on your grades, but also focus on you, focus on how you are feeling, how your stress is and everything like that, and listen to your body. Therefore, if your body is telling you that you need a break, give it a break. Trust me, it will pay off in the long run, but also allow yourself to go for that push. Basically what I mean is, if you know that you have a B and you can get to an A as a grade, push yourself, but not to the point where it's going to continuously stress you out, if that makes sense. Grades are very important in college, even more than high school in my opinion, because it's what's going to get you a real job in the real world. So keep that in mind, but also remember to have fun and don't stress out that much about it, because I stressed out so much about my grades, and looking back at it, I still passed. I am still going to graduate this year and it's going to be okay. So just remember that it's one test. If you don't do good on one test or one homework assignment, there's always another one. Please remember that, because that is really what I wish I knew the most. The next thing I want to talk about is skipping classes. So as we all know, when you get to college, you kind of have your own power and your own freedom, as in your parents are not going to push you to go to school. My number one thing is, do not get a bad grade on a class or in a class because of not going to class. You can get so many good grades in a class, on a test, on a homework assignment, everything like that, and show up to no classes and still fail the class. That's simply because attendance does count as a grade, and where you can allow yourself to listen to your body and take some days for yourself, you also have to push yourself to continue to go to class. And remember that you are paying for your education, so it is really important to still go to class, and still remember that in order to get smarter, in order to know your major and to get a job in the real world, you do need to get a good grade. And some professors will be kind of annoying about attendance and will grade you literally on attendance if you don't come, and will fail you if you don't come to the class. Keep that in mind. My freshman year, I did go to a lot of classes, but I did skip a lot more than I should. I'm not going to lie to you, and it was not a good decision. So take it from someone who's been through it. Go to classes when it's possible. Next, I'm going to talk about relationships. So relationships in college are somewhat like high school relationships, somewhat not. It kind of depends on the relationship you are in. I'm gonna talk about my own. I'm not gonna talk about anybody else's. I was in a relationship, and it really did determine whether the fact I lived on campus or didn't live on campus. I didn't live on campus for the main purpose of being in a relationship and being scared of doing long distance. However, it was honestly only a 40-minute drive, and I should have just lived at that campus. Now, it's not the other person's fault. I just want to put that out there. I was just nervous of doing long distance, that I allowed it to allow me to stay home rather than go out, adventure, and meet new people. I do not recommend doing that at all. If you are able to, I would recommend dorming. If you're not able to, obviously totally different circumstances there and totally understandable, and totally listen to financial needs and everything like that. I'm just saying, if you're making a decision based on a relationship, I would still say go for it, live at campus, because you don't know what's going to happen. If your relationship is strong enough, it will get through the hard times, and you still deserve to have fun. You still deserve to live that college experience, and I just want everyone to know that. On the other hand, college relationships are kind of difficult, but at the same time, kind of really cool. It depends on if you find the right person, if you match with the right person and stuff like that. I wouldn't say don't be open to it, but I would say allow yourself to at least have a little time to get to know people and everything like that if you're not going into college in a relationship, because you want to know people for their true colors and not for who you think they are. That is all I'm gonna say on that. If you guys can understand what I'm saying, great. If not, then it's fine, but I don't really want to talk about people. So if you can avoid a situation that you think is going to be bad, avoid the situation. All right, now we are going to talk about drama. Drama in college is honestly, at least for me, it wasn't as bad as drama in high school was for me. I had so much drama in high school, and I'm not going to lie, some of it was my fault. I did have a say in a lot of it, and you know, I'm not happy about it, but that's how you grow. That's how you become a person that you want to be. And it does shape you into the person that you want to be, because I'm happy with who I am now, and I wouldn't change what I went through. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I had nothing to do with it, because that's not true. I did mess up, and sometimes you have to live with that, but I did try to make it right, and it wasn't always my fault, and my mess ups weren't too bad, you know, just typical drama that happens in high school and college. However, my high school experience was a lot different than my college experience, because I grew. Basically, I grew into a person that I wanted to be, and I didn't really let any other actions determine who I was. I obviously made mistakes in college too. Everyone does, we're all human, but I learned how to cope with them, and I learned how to react to them. So basically, my point of the story is you are going to make mistakes, you're going to run into drama. Learn how to react to it and pick what you react to and how you react to it. That's my number one tip. There's certain things that you're going to get upset about, mad about, happy about, etc. Just pick your battles and pick which one is the most important, and which friendships are worth saving, and which people are fake and which people are not fake. That's what I'm going to say about that. Hopefully you guys understand what I mean. Just be careful, but also know that there's really nice people out there, and you will meet your people. The last thing I want to talk about is parties. So parties are very well known in high school, they're very well known in college, they're very well known in a lot of places, and especially right now, it's important to stay safe when going to all these parties, you know, because of everything going on in the world. However, even if this was post everything going on in the world, like for real, I would still say your number one priority should be to stay safe. Always go with a person and leave with that same person unless you know the person directly that you're leaving with. And also just make sure you know where you are at all times. Make sure you know who you are, and make sure you are not getting too out of control where you don't know your surroundings. Knowing your surroundings are the number one thing that is going to keep you safe. I can't stress that enough. So go out, have fun, be yourself, be quirky, be whatever you are. Just know where you are, who you're with, leave with the same person you came with if possible, especially if you don't know whose party you're going to, and stay safe and know your surroundings. That's my number one tip of advice, because if you don't know your surroundings, you're setting yourself up for a little bit of failure. So nicely, just try to always know your surroundings and what you're getting yourself into. With all that being said, that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to mention the key facts that I think were just kind of like borderline of what I would want to know if I was a freshman going into college. Obviously, there's so much more stuff I could talk about, but I'm trying to keep it PG and very, very friendly, if that makes sense. So if you guys do want a more in-depth exposed video, I can make that. Just let me know down below and leave me questions down below that I could answer. But this was a very like basic kind of video that I thought would help you guys out. If you guys liked the video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, because that really helps me out. Enter my giveaway, because I would love for one of you guys to win it. I will have the video linked down below, letting you guys know everything you need to do in order to enter that giveaway. Thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. We just hit 21K, and I am so thankful for that. I literally wasn't expecting that at all. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. I never ever thought I would get here. So thank you for making my dreams come true. Also, leave me a comment down below. I try to answer every single one of my comments because I genuinely do love talking to all of you, and it does help me out. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video sometime really soon. Bye guys.